It's going to be rough before. I'm trying now, mate. There are people walking the time off work in order to protest. And in Britain, they protest in a very special way. When you get off the Air Force One at Heathrow Airport, you're going to be faced by 60 million bare-friendly British asses. When you go to Hounslow, you'll see asses. When you go to Chelsea, you'll see hammered asses. You're going to see all bare asses at a weekend in a Russian hotel. I know that this is actually getting through calls.
The British Prime Minister Theresa May is attempting to put together a minority government despite concerns among her own colleagues that her prospective partners in Northern Ireland could damage the Conservative Party's image and doing a decade of work to modernise the Conservatives. At the same time, members of the party are discussing her future. The United States has confirmed that American special forces are helping the Philippine army fight Islamist insurgents in the southern city of Marawi. The U.S. involvement comes after months of hostility towards Washington by the Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte. U.S. officials say President Trump is expected to announce a change in policy towards Cuba during a speech in Miami next week. It's not clear how far the changes will go, but analysts say Mr. Trump is likely to tighten the travel restrictions that were eased under President Obama. Brazil's top electoral court has thrown out a case which would have stripped Michel Temer of the presidency over alleged corruption during the 2018 election. The 7 judges voted 4-3 to acquit President Temer, who ran as a running mate. Media say police have made further arrests in connection with Wednesday's protests in Tehran, which left at least 17 people dead. A justice official said 7 people were detained west of Tehran and 7 others were detained in the south. The Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe has sacked the country's chief prosecutor, Mohamed Tamana, after a tribunal found him guilty of misconduct and incompetence. Mr. Tamana was once seen as a loyal supporter of the president. And the authorities in Romania have sealed off access to a castle associated with the Dracula legend to save tourists not from vampires but bears. Several visitors climbing the steps to Poianari Castle have had close encounters with a brown bear who's raising 3 cubs.
In NPR News from 2 noon.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Giles Snyder. Following a week in which fired FBI Director James Comey testified before Congress, President Trump is at his golf club in New Jersey. But before leaving Washington, Trump said he would testify under oath about his conversations with Comey and that he would be happy to speak to Special Counsel Robert Mueller. NPR's Kerry Johnson reports the White House considered Mueller a top candidate to lead the FBI before the Justice Department changed course.
Hiring Robert Mueller to be the FBI director would have been a heavy lift. He'd already served in that job for 12 years after Congress passed special legislation his term leading the Bureau, but the White House was willing to consider the idea. That is until Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, in a surprise move, asked Mueller to be special counsel investigating Russian interference in last year's election. He's also looking at Trump campaign ties to people in Russia. Mueller's assembling an all-star legal team to conduct the probe, filled with current and former prosecutors and experts in executive privilege. Kerry Johnson, NPR News, Washington.
San Antonio has ruled that the sheriff's office there violated the 4th Amendment when it detained an unauthorized immigrant for more than 2 months. And charges against him have been dismissed. Ruling endangers Texas's controversial new immigration law. As NPR's Wade Goodwin reports.
U.S. District Court Judge Orlando Garcia ruled it was unconstitutional for the Bexar County Sheriff's Office to detain Julio Trujillo after his misdemeanor criminal charges had been dropped. ICE detainer requests do not constitute probable cause to hold someone not suspected of a criminal offense, and such warrantless detentions violate the 4th Amendment. Later this summer, the same judge will also hear the lawsuit against Texas's new sanctuary cities bill. That law empowers local law enforcement officers to inquire about anyone's immigration status and threatens criminal officials who refuse to comply with ICE detainer requests. Wade Goodwin, NPR News.
Stocks closed mixed Friday after flirting with new records earlier in the day. Steve Beckner has the week in stocks.
After starting the week on a downswing, stocks turned up Wednesday. The rally continued Friday after British Prime Minister Theresa May's surprise drubbing at the polls. Financial shares led the market to new highs. Energy stocks also rose with the price of oil. But as the day wore on, Apple and other technology shares went into a sharp sell-off. Perhaps not surprisingly, climb. The Dow rose for a third straight week by 1/3% to a new record, at one point registering over 21,300. But the tech-heavy NASDAQ is down more than 1.5%, and the S&P is lower by nearly 1/3%. For NPR News, I'm Steve Beckner.
And you're listening to NPR News. In the Philippines, no end to the fighting between government troops and Islamic State-linked militants on the southern island of Mindanao. Michael Sullivan reports from Bangkok at least 13 Philippine Marines were killed in fighting on Friday.
A military spokesman says the Marines were killed as they tried to clear militants from positions they still hold near the center of Maui State. Nearly 3 weeks after the militants besieged the provincial capital. Fires struck by the militants and government airstrikes meant to dislodge them have left some neighborhoods in ruins. The spokesman also said that the U.S. military is now providing technical support to government forces, but he didn't elaborate.
The U.S. Embassy says it offered the support at the request of the Philippine government. Brazil's president has won a crucial victory in his battle to keep his job. NPR's Philip Reeves reports that Brazil's top electoral court has dismissed an important case against the president.
Temer was accused of illegal campaign financing. This allegedly happened in the 2014 election, when he was running mate to Dilma Rousseff, who was later impeached. A guilty verdict could have meant those election results were annulled. After a 4-day hearing, broadcast live on Brazilian TV, the judges voted 4-3 to acquit. The 76-year-old Temer remains in trouble. He's accused of corruption and obstructing justice. His approval ratings are in single figures. A third of his cabinet is under investigation. But Temer, who denies wrongdoing, now has some breathing space to figure out how to complete his remaining 18-month term at the helm of Latin America's largest nation. Philip Reeves, NPR News, Rio de Janeiro.
And I'm Giles Snyder, NPR News from Washington.
In weather. In Colorado Springs, it's 75 degrees with intermittent clouds. Today, you can look for lots of sun, with a high of 91 degrees and a low of 58 degrees. That's all from your flash briefing.
Enemy sighted. mission success.